Alrighty, what is up, everybody? This, of course, is Anthony with the VR Game Rankings YouTube channel, and this is Friday. It is Friday. It is September 21st. You know what, folks? I completely forgot about this. Here's something I forgot about. Jet Island is available today, right? Is it available today? Let me look that up right now. I believe that Jet Island VR on Steam, I think it's available today on the 21st, right? Yeah, it is available. You can grab it. It is 20 bones. Jet Island is $19.99, and it is available today. I knew there was something on September 21st, a day after my birthday. Yeah, I had a good birthday. Everything was good. Have you guys ever heard of Texas Roadhouse? It's a chain of kind of like barbecue steakhouse, kind of a chain that we have here in California. And I went to Texas Roadhouse last night for dinner, so that was pretty cool. Got a nice steak. They have these rolls, these buns that they constantly bring you. And then they also give you this cinnamon butter. And the rolls are hot and they're like butter coated. And then you chop them in half and you put this cinnamon butter on it, and oh my God, it just melts into your mouth. It is an absolute carb nightmare. So MameFan would not be a fan of this at all, because MameFan is not a carb guy. You know, he wants to stay away from carbs, and it is a carb-tastic type of a deal because it's so addictive. You get these nice buns. They taste so good. In fact, actually, I have a couple extra buns that I took with me to go. And later today, I usually have a cup of coffee in the morning, and then I typically have another cup of coffee in the late afternoon to kind of wake me, get me back into the mix. And I have some of those little rolls in my refrigerator. I'm going to heat it up for my cup of coffee later today. It is going to be awesome. MameFan says, not always, bro. I'm weak too. Sometimes I have to load those carbs like you wouldn't believe. And the steak was very good. I really enjoyed my steak. I had some nice A1 sauce to go along with it, and good baked potato, you know, the whole deal. Really nice. Chris says, is it just me, or does 20 bones feel way too much for Jet Island? I apologize, folks, because I should have played a hell of a lot more of Jet Island yesterday to talk about it more today on launch day. And I haven't played very much Jet Island because Master Indy, he did hook me up with a code for it, and I tried it out. But then I just got bombarded, you know, Blind, Transference, all these games started hitting, and I kind of put Jet Island off to the side. And I feel bad because I really should. Prince Alexander says, Anthony, you are living the healthy lifestyle. Well, you know, healthy living is in your mind. It's really what is in your mind. I honestly believe that if everyone on planet Earth truly believed that cheeseburgers and hot fudge sundaes were the healthiest thing that you could possibly eat, they would be healthy. They would be healthy. If everyone truly believed that. I believe our mind is that powerful, but that's kind of a different rant there. Kevin Mars says, is anybody in here playing the Zero Killed beta? And no, I didn't get into the Zero Killed beta. Prince Alexander says, eat a donut, but imagine you're eating a carrot. Imagine you're eating some broccoli, some cauliflower, but eat that donut and don't worry about it. Donuts, though, I got to tell you, folks, I mean, we're kind of in a complete off-topic ramp here, but donuts just are not good. They look so good. That first bite is good. Has anybody ever heard the Jim Rome, R-O-M-E, rant about donuts? Jim Rome has an incredible rant about donuts, and I don't know if that recording is available somewhere where you could just specifically you could specifically listen to his donut rant, but it is such a good rant because he walks you through the entire process of taking that first bite of a donut and how it is just all downhill from there. And he talks about eating the second donut and eating the third donut. I can tell you what, man, I'll eat a donut and it's a magical thing. Donuts are wonderful, right? But then like 35 minutes later, my stomach is like, oh, dude, why did I eat that donut? That was such a mistake. Why did I eat the donut? And donuts are not breakfast. Donuts are not breakfast. Donuts are a dessert. Let's understand this. Donuts are a straight up dessert. So let's just move on from that. Okay, so anyway, here we are. We are on Friday. It is September 21st. You know what? I don't think I've made an intro. I did not make an intro today. I completely forgot about making an intro, so I can't even go to an intro if I wanted to go to an intro. Crunchy says it depends on the donut. Yeah, what's your favorite donut? We can get into that in chat. What is your favorite donut? Everybody has a favorite. I would say my favorite right now is crumb cake. I like the crumb, the donut where it has all those crumbly things all around it. Crumb cake donut is currently my favorite. And Scion VR says donuts are breakfast. I disagree. Donuts are a bad breakfast, bro. It's a bad breakfast, but it is a wonderful dessert, in my opinion. SAMIK says donuts are not popular here. Not sure if I ever ate more than a few in my lifetime. Okay, SAMIK, you're going to live to 110. You have found the secret. And Sponge720 says low carb donut. But then what are you doing? If you're having, that's like you go to the store and they have like these guilt-free kind of things, but a lot of times they just taste awful. A lot of times my opinion is on all these guilt-free stuff, you're better off just not eating it, period, rather than trying to eat some of this guilt-free stuff. Like one of the things that I do, let me give you guys a health tip. Like this is a straight up health tip. I used to drink soda. I used to be a soda guy. I used to drink soda with lunch, and I used to drink soda with dinner. I probably would have like 3 sodas a day. And you know what? I have completely eliminated sodas from my diet. I do not drink sodas. I drink water. Water, water, water. Water is what I drink. I do have a cup of coffee in the morning. I have a cup of coffee in the late afternoon. I do use a little bit of creamer. I don't use like straight up spoonfuls of sugar, but I just drink water. And I think that's the way to do it, folks. The way to do it is if you're having liquid calories, you're doing it wrong. Anybody that ever wants to lose weight, just quit soda altogether. Coca-Cola is not going to like this live stream, and neither is Pepsi, but I'm telling you, just give up soda completely. It's the best decision you could ever make. And if all we ever did was give up soda, you would automatically lose 20 pounds in a year. If that's all you did was do everything that you're doing now except just give up soda, replace it with water, you will lose 20 pounds. I shit you not. I shit you not. Okay, so we have Primordian here on the video screen, and I was just looking for a random trailer to put in here. When we start the show, pop up a rando trailer, and that's what we're doing here with Primordian. But, Primordian, this is a great game. Do you guys remember this game? It came out, I believe, January of 2018, and one of the things I definitely want to do on one of these future episodes is we're now in September. We're heading really quickly towards October. And the one thing I'll tell you guys is I'd like to kind of do a show where we look at the months of 2018. Like we look at January. Let's look at the big games that came out in January. Let's look at the big games that came out in February. I think that would be kind of cool. Maybe a small little segment where we spend like 15, 10, 20 minutes doing that, and we go through January, and then maybe another day we go through February. I think that'd be kind of cool. And Primordian, I believe, arrived in late January. One of my favorite games in late January. Just Primordian, if you want to give somebody an impressive VR demo where audio, visual, you're like you're in Predator, man. You're in Avatar. You're on a different planet. the music, the visuals, it's all pretty damn good. So I'm a fan of Primordian. Crunchy says, depends, Anthony. If you cut sweets completely for many months and then just have a little bit of something sweet, it is amazing. I can't drink a soda now. I've been off of soda so long that if I drink soda, oh my God, it tastes like pure sugar water. Pure sugar water. SAMIK says, thanks. Lots of people use sugar replacements with coffee, but different name. And well, the thing about a sugar replacement is I know that if I go to McDonald's, right, and I'm getting a McDonald's coffee, and if I don't have my little creamer with me, then at McDonald's you're like 5 creams, 5 sugars. Like, that is not good, man. That is not good. I know the creamer isn't good either. I know there's probably chemicals in the creamer that are going to make me grow a third arm, but the creamer seems like there's a lot less sugar in the creamer compared to like if you just put 5 sugars, 5 creams, all of that. Anyway, let's get off of the foodie topic. Let's get off of the dietary program topic, and let's get back into pure VR gaming. It is September 21st. It's Friday. This has been an interesting week, and I can tell you that I played more Transference last night. I thought I was going to bang the thing out. I thought I was going to finish Transference. Everybody is saying, hey, Lunchbox Elrod is in the building. Lunchbox Elrod. I see this guy in the comments of shows that have already been completed. A lot of times Lunchbox does not make it for the live program. So Lunchbox, we're glad to have you. Crunchy, of course, is here. Paradise Decay, Chebby, Kevin Mars, SAMIK81. We got Logan here. Sponge 720, Gopher Chucks. That's what I'm seeing right now. I don't have my other chat window up. So it is Friday. It kind of is a party. Chevy says, I think sugar replacements spike your blood sugar just like regular sugar. Yeah, sure. It's all bad. It's all bad. Let's agree. It's all bad. But, you know, everything in moderation, right? That's kind of what we're talking about here. So anyway, I do want to bounce over to web browser window. This is state-of-the-art technology. And yeah, we can see here, Jet Island, it is available today. There's no user reviews. Come on, folks, where are you? It is $20. I like this game, but I got to be honest with you, folks. I know that a lot of us do not have $20 bills that are just popping out of every orifice in our body, and we can just buy every VR game that comes down the line. I'm truly privileged and blessed that I get a lot of these keys. I get to try a lot of these games. This is a beautiful thing. Jet Island is a solid game. I had a lot of fun with it when I was playing it. I really liked how you would shoot, there's like these gigantic ramps, that are made in the game, and you kind of have these like jet packs that are on your wrist, and you're on a hoverboard, and you can go down these ramps, and then boom, you go flying way up in the air. You come back down, and there is an exhilarating feeling. There really is an exhilarating feeling about it. And let me go ahead and grab the Jet Island trailer since we're discussing it anyway. But yeah, Jet Island is a good game. It's a solid game. Much love to Master Indy. This game is, I know Steve didn't really like this game when he first tried it. Like, he thought the controls were kind of crappy and stuff. So I am absolutely looking forward to VR Roundtable, which I believe we're going to have a live show this Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific, I believe. Don't necessarily quote me on that, but I do believe that. And I'm going to be very interested to get like Gary's thoughts, to get Steve's thoughts, maybe if he's played this a little bit longer and maybe learned the controls a little bit better. I found the controls difficult in the beginning, but when I finally got a hang of the game, it is kind of this like free floating, like exploring this island, and it's kind of cool. It's not a bad game by any stretch of the imagination. I think $20 is a relatively fair price. It really is a relatively fair price, but these games do not release in a void. These games are coming out, and there are other games coming out. We talked about this yesterday with Victor Burgos of Monochrome Inc. and Contagion VR Outbreak fame, that it's a difficult market, man. There's a lot of games that are vying for your dollars. They know that you've got a limited amount of money. You probably have a monthly budget for your VR gaming. And you can't buy 5, 7, 8 games in a single month. You're probably going to buy maybe 2 or 3. And you got to make careful decisions. And this month, we've already got Windlands 2. We've already got Transference. We've got Creed in a couple of days. Creed, a big game in a couple of days. Maybe that's the best game of September, and we haven't even got it yet. And so it's difficult. It's hard. I feel for these indie devs, but I still think this is pretty good. And then the other thing too, Scion VR says, what budget? I just buy everything. And then the other thing, and this is what people are talking about in chat right now. Oh, Paradise says, I tried Jet Island today, gave up after 20 minutes. I could not get used to the controls. My touch controls were upside down and no tutorial. This is not an easy game. It's not an easy game in terms of controls. I didn't like it at first. Like, I thought, oh no, this is going to be a dud and I'm going to have to talk a lot of smack about Jet Island. But it completely turned around for me once I figured out how to control the game. It's really your wrists. Your wrists are everything. It's all about your wrists. Like, you can go up in the air. If you aim your wrists the right way, you go this way. It's all about the wrists in this game. And it's your momentum and the physics. And you don't really use this Spider-Man stuff as much as it might show in this trailer. And those Spider-Man webs, it's not like Windlands where you're just zing, 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 like that. It's more like you shoot out your web and then it goes, you know, it's like a physics thing. It's like you got to wait for the momentum to happen and then let yourself go. SAMIK81 says, I can afford one more game this month. That game will be Creed. Servios loves to hear that. And you know what? Let's talk about Servios for a second, because they are having a shit ton of sales. Let me see if I can find it here, but I know, where are we here? Okay, so raw data. Here is raw data, and we can see, I don't know why this thing keeps sticking like that, but raw data 60% off. 16 bucks. Grab raw data. This is a weekend deal. This offer ends on Monday, September 24th. And, you know, we're getting absolutely hammered with a lot of really good VR games. And then on top of that, we've got all these games on sale. So it is madness, man. There's a lot of good stuff to work with here. One of the things I've said about raw data, and I know this, you know, this is not, Servios isn't going to be necessarily happy about me saying this, but I don't know what it is. I just feel like it plays so much better on the Vive than it does on the Oculus Rift. Since I've made the switch from the Vive to the Rift, and it's nothing against the Vive at all. I had a broken lighthouse. You know, it has nothing to do, like, I'm not anti-Vive in any way, shape, or form. But when I made the switch over to the Rift, there were a couple of games that seemed to suffer in the translation. And for me, raw data, I don't know what it is. It just didn't feel right to me on the Rift. Now, maybe it's been updated, maybe it's been improved, and maybe it feels better on the Rift, or maybe I just got so used to the Vive version that it just seems so natural to me. But I don't really like it on the Rift. The other game is To the Top. I've talked about that a number of times. I don't like To the Top on the Rift either, and it really, what it is it's the triggers. I don't like something about the Oculus triggers don't really work real good here. Okay, so here's another game. Servios has these sales blowing up, weekend deals, 15 bucks, and you can grab yourself Sprint Vector for 15 bucks. And you know, we talk about Mario Kart. This is kind of Mario Kart in VR. Everybody wants the Mario Kart to come to like the Vive or whatever. We heard Mario Kart is coming to Washington, D.C., the arcade VR version of Mario Kart. This is kind of Mario Kart, Sprint Vector. I never could completely wrap my brain around the controls of Sprint Vector, but it's colorful. The music is great. 15 bucks, not a bad deal by any stretch. Let me click on Servios's name here, and then it didn't work. But usually when you click on the name, it'll show you like all their other games. Let's see, Electronauts. Electronauts is $11.99. So like all the Servio stuff is on sale, weekend deals, $12 for Electronauts. And Electronauts, I said it before, it was in my top 10 at the very bottom for like best games that have come out in the last couple of months. This is a great party game, a really good party game. If you had a bunch of people coming over for a barbecue or whatever, and you got some big tower speakers, you put somebody in the headset, make them the Dr. Dre DJ, make them the DJ for a minute, and you can have a party and you can rock the hell out. And that, of course, is Electronauts. So all the Servios games are on sale, and there's other sales too. And we'll get into it, but I wanted to come back over here to chat for a second here and see what people are talking about. Okay, so MameFan says, if you pre-order, Creed is 10% off. So remember this. If you guys are going to grab Creed, you might want to pre-order, get a little bit of money off of that, 10% off. Scion VR says it sounds a little like Echo Arena movement with aim when you aim those wrists. I think he's talking about Jet Island there. And Kevin Mars was going to buy another copy of Raw Data, but you can only do a co-op of 2 people, not 3. James Davis 911 says, okay, checking to see how much is on my credit cards. Yeah, man, it's harsh. It is harsh right now. If I was a regular individual civilian, and I was just thinking about buying games, man, I would be overwhelmed with options with all of these sales, all of these brand new games that are coming out. And I promise you guys, I'm going to play some more Jet Island today because it is brand new and it is available. I'm going to play some more of this, and I'll hopefully have some more thoughts tomorrow. You do need to learn the controls. The controls are not easy. That is the thing about Jet Island. So, but I know there were some other sales. Let me see here. We were looking at some. Okay, yeah. Let me bring this one up. So, In Death. Do you guys remember when we had the story? Do you guys remember this? We had a story about In Death maybe 2 days ago, where on October 2nd, or maybe it was 3 days ago, we got a new trailer. You know, the Paradise Lost or whatever, the update. So on October 2nd, In Death is having a major update, and it's changing the game up, and the price is going to jump up, I believe, to $30. And I told everybody, I said, you know what? We've got a while, because this was on like the 17th or the 18th or something. And I said, look, we're on September 17th, September 18th. We've got a while until October 2nd. There could be a deal. There could be like a daily sale, like boom, In Death could be on sale for a very short period. This may be the time to grab In Death. And what do you know, ladies and gentlemen? This is, I believe, the daily deal for Oculus right now. It is $15. So this is your opportunity. Now, I don't believe that it is on sale on Steam. So you're kind of boned if you don't have an Oculus Rift. That is kind of let me see. I'm gonna double check the Steam page. I think it's a daily deal. I think it's an Oculus thing. Yeah. In Death is $20 on Steam, so it is an Oculus thing. But those of you that do have an Oculus Rift, if you've thought about grabbing In Death, maybe a great opportunity, because you would, at $15, you're going to get it for half of its $30 price that it is going to be at on October 2nd when it has this update. So that is In Death. We definitely, but I mean, how cool is that? I said there may be a sale, and Nostradamus Jr., baby. They don't call me Nostradamus Jr. for nothing. Okay, so what are folks talking about here in chat? Paradise Decay says, one of my biggest gripes, so somebody was talking about Sariento, and Paradise says one of his biggest gripes for Sariento was the graphics. It looks like it just had a graphics update. I haven't been in Sariento in a long time. Arrowin X, a good buddy of mine, Arrowin X, we used to talk all the time. Haven't talked to him in a while, actually. He was really huge on the Vive subreddit for a long time, but he got soiled on that and kind of left. But he is a massive fan of Sariento, whatever. Massive fan of that game, and I did finally get it, played it, enjoyed it, but didn't spend much time with it. Kevin Mars says, is in-death multiplayer? No. In-death is like a roguelike. Like you basically get in it and you try to get as far as you can, and then you start over and it regenerates, so it changes the levels every time. I think In Death is the perfect kind of game if you want like a 20-minute burst of enjoyment. I think In Death, that's what it does. In Death is great for a 20-minute enjoyment. Scion VR says, really liking the different views you've added to OBS. Yeah, we've been doing this for a while. The downside, though, is when I go to these other windows, we lose chat. But you guys can have chat, like if you make the YouTube window so that you still have chat on the side. So that's the only downside. And then for people watching the show later, they lose chat when I go to some of these other windows. I've thought about trying to incorporate chat into some of these other windows, but I don't think it would work right. So I just will kind of bounce back and forth like this. BDKH, never seen this guy, I don't think. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I don't remember, but might be a new guy in chat. He says In Death is a good game. Martino Movies says In Death is intense. It gets your heart pumping when you hear an arrow whiz past your head. Yes, it does. It's just a straight gamer's game. I've said it a million times. You guys know what I have to say about that. Okay, in terms of news, so I got to admit, I have not done any show prep at all. I just came here like 10 minutes before the show, just started to get it going. And so I have not looked at a lot of news stories. I have not grabbed a lot of videos and things like that. So my apologies for that today. Just was kind of busy with some other things. But one of the things I did see, one of the news stories I did see, is that Google has revealed that they have these experimental 6 degree of freedom controllers for Daydream, and that they have dev kits that are going to be hitting devs in the near future. I guess this is maybe some type of render of what they kind of look like. 6 degree of freedom controllers. This is pretty awesome. Obviously, with Santa Cruz, I mean, remember, folks, what are we talking about next week? We are talking about Oculus Connect 5. How incredible is that? Next Wednesday, we might get a release date for Defector. We might get, some additional release dates, some additional big VR game announcements that we've never ever heard of, some brand new trailers. I really expect all of that to happen. We might also get some very big Santa Cruz news. The name of Santa Cruz, maybe the price of Santa Cruz, maybe the release window, maybe a release date, and Santa Cruz is going to have the 6 degree of freedom controllers. But look at Google is getting in the game as well, and this is a good thing. This is awesome. It's a great thing because you know what? We need 6 degree of freedom controllers for these standalone headsets, because it's really going to take VR to a new world. Because as much as I love my Oculus Go, it's not 6 degree of freedom, and it's a single controller, and I really feel like hand presence is super important. So this is a good thing. This is a good idea. I'm glad that Google keeps pressing forward with this and keeps working on this. So that is a good thing. Okay, now let's go to a game trailer. This is back from the Tokyo Game Show, which recently happened. And this is one of the trailers that I have not mentioned. Okay, so do you guys know that there's a PlayStation game that's called Disaster Report? I believe, yeah, Disaster Report, I think is the name of the game, right? It's been on, I think it was on PlayStation 2, maybe, the first Disaster Report. Then it was on PlayStation 3. But it's kind of this interesting game where you're in a situation where there's like an earthquake and there's chaos going on and you need to survive. Well, I believe there is going to be a PlayStation VR version of a new Disaster Report. This is the trailer that I'm talking about. So I'm going to put this trailer on. I don't know anything about it. Let's check it out. Let's peep it out. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so this is Disaster Report 4 Plus Summer Memories, I believe. Anthony, do you know at the end of the trailer she is going inside to put on her yoga suit? Yeah, mood depressing as hell, says Sponge720. Interesting music for a disaster, says Crunchy. Yeah, so I don't know the full story behind this, other than that I believe there's what did we just watch looks lame. Kevin Mars, I don't think this looks lame. I think this looks kind of cool. I don't know exactly how this is going to work with VR. I mean, I guess it's just third person, like you're just going to have this lady running around in her business attire, and you're going to, it's going to be 3D. I mean, the world is going to be there, and it may be kind of like Bound or like Hellblade from the perspective angle. I think that looks pretty cool. I think this looks pretty cool. I think the idea is pretty cool. Like having to survive a major disaster situation. We remember that movie, what was it, 2012. Remember the movie 2012? That's where I got the quote, "That is the state of Hawaii." That movie 2012 where there's all these disasters happening. Well, think of this. It's almost like, okay, here's the movie 2012. These disasters. Here's a live earthquake. There's an earthquake that's happening in real time. Like you can see right here. That looks like an earthquake. And so I guess you kind of have to survive this earthquake. You got to remember, people that live in Japan, they have to deal with tsunamis, with earthquakes. Japan is... it's the ring of fire right there. They get earthquakes offshore all the time that create tsunamis. They have regular normal earthquakes that are right on their island. They have earthquakes all the time. This is always like looming. It's always imminent that there could be some kind of disaster that could hit Japan, which is kind of harsh. They have to deal with this. And so in their artistic expression, they're going to express some of this stuff about earthquakes and disasters. And, we all know about Fukushima and all of that that's happened. And so I don't know. I think this might be kind of cool. Now, it's pretty depressing and kind of a downer, but also interesting at the same time. So don't know exactly how this is going to work with VR. And then the other thing I really don't know is I don't know that this is coming to the USA or to Europe, because just looking at this, it looks like they would have to translate a lot of this game, and they have to make a decision. They have to sit down and say, is it worth it to translate everything so we can get it into English, so we can bring this out in the USA, we can bring this out in Europe, Western Europe, and those kinds of things. But I think this looks kind of interesting. I mean, I don't know. Red Cross the game, says Justin Baker. That's a good one. Yeah, let's see what other people are saying. Gopher Chuck says, and what's the deal with the glow stick? Gerard O'Hara says, looks very different to what's out there, and that's good for VR. Justin Baker says, getting those disaster scoops, DLC, add zombies. Kevin Mars says, not a fan of these types of games. I'm killed, died and killed. Okay, so you're the bro gamer, man. Get in there and kill, bro. Where's my gun? I don't see a gun, bro. This doesn't make sense, man. I don't see a gun. I'm kind of going into Monster, what's his name? Muscle Man from the regular show. That's kind of the voice I go into sometimes, if anybody has noticed that. But Scion VR says he'll buy the game for the sweet music alone. Yeah, let's just hear this sweet song. This is an awesome song. And look at the sunlight there. Really liking the sunlight. And I really love how really nice hop over those bars there. That was pretty good. Is that her? Damn, she's pretty banging, right? But yeah, no, I think this game looks kind of interesting. I don't know anything about it, but Yeah, Kevin Mars, kill everything. That's what he's got to do. But yeah, the bandage looks pretty good. You know, the scrapes and stuff, really nice textures. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Don't know much about it, but looks kind of cool. Okay, so one other trailer I want to grab real quick is this was something that Mame Fan hit me to. This is some guy's like house slash bedroom slash hallway where he's like recorded this with like AR and like physical props and AR, and it looks super cool. It's like photogrammetry with his room with like stuff going on in AR. I don't really know what's going on here, but it was just a cool video. Mame Fan linked me to this video, so I thought I would show you guys kind of an interesting thing going on here. And if Mame Fan is in chat, maybe he could jump in right now and give us some more insight into this if he looked into it. But I think it's like a mixture of photogrammetry, like real actual video footage, and then like layering AR on top of stuff. But the interesting thing about this video here is this is our future, folks. This is our future. We're going to live in a future where we're going to have Magic Leap-like goggles, but a hell of a lot smaller, a lot thinner, a lot less, you know, not as much weight. And we're going to be able to walk around our real environments, and we're going to have real stuff mixed with augmented stuff, and it's going to be everywhere, and it's going to be a bizarro future, man. We are moving into the realm of a bizarro future. A lot of weird stuff is going on. Okay, so here's Mame Fan checking in. He said it's a mixture of photogrammetry and tilt brush, and he still doesn't quite get what's going on here, but it is kind of cool. I just thought it was a cool video, kind of giving us an idea of how our real world is going to be overlaid with all kinds of AR crap as well. And we're going to have an exciting, bizarro kind of a future where everybody's going to be wearing goggles everywhere. We might be about 20 years away, probably. You know, I'm always a little bit more hyped on things than it takes a while. You know, it's going to take a while for grandma to grab her AR headset and walk all around her house and see Tron in her own house. So that will take some time. It's going to take some time, no question. Okay, so I think that's all the trailers that I had for you guys, which I'm sorry about that, but I will put on some rando trailer. But yeah, I didn't get a chance to like get super prepared for today's episode prior to the episode, so my bad on that. Kevin Mars says, F it, I'll be dead in 20 years. I won't be able to experience it. No, dude, don't even worry about it. We are solving the longevity situation. People are going to be living forever. Remember, dude, the singularity, man. Elon Musk. We're just going to transfer right into computers. Don't worry, Kevin Mars. If you can survive another 10 years, you'll make it to the singularity. Don't worry about it, bro. Vrium says, I'm way so cool. I need to photogram my room. Yeah. And Chevy says, it will be difficult to tell what is real and what isn't. Isn't it already difficult to tell what is real and what isn't? This is a side topic here, but all of us that are into virtual reality in a major way, has anybody else experienced this where the more you have experience with these virtual worlds that seem more and more realistic, do you start to question what we're in right now? I think it's not an uncommon thing. The more we get into these virtual worlds, and the more these virtual worlds start looking better and better and better, I think we're going to start to question what we're actually in right now. And I think that's why people like Elon Musk will bring up this idea of the simulation argument, or the simulation theory, or whatever it is, and like base reality and all these kinds of things. But, you know, all of that is very interesting. But you can watch a Joe Rogan podcast if you want to learn all about that. Okay, so let's see. What else did I want? There was something else I wanted to mention, and now oh, well, of course I do want to talk about Transference. So why don't I go ahead and get into that? We've talked about Jet Island, the Survios games on sale, Disaster Report, PSVR. So let's get into some Transference thoughts. I thought I was banging this thing out. I thought Transference was done. I thought I'd be done with it. And I thought I'd be coming on here and telling you guys, guess what, everybody? I finished Transference. Here's my take on Transference. but I haven't finished Transference yet. I'm still banging away at this thing, and I can tell you straight up, it's been more than 2 hours. Like, I've been in Transference more than 2 hours. No question about it. So I'm guessing that when I am done with Transference, I will probably have spent a full 3 hours and change in the game. But again, I got to tell you folks that when I play these kinds of games, I don't necessarily try to rush my way through it. I am the type of gamer, I like to smell the flowers. I like to examine everything. I like to look at everything. I like to get inside these different rooms and examine all the little details. I like to pick up the little notes. I like to pick up the coffee cups. I like to look at the refrigerator and the magnets that are on the refrigerator and the little Polaroid snapshots that are left around. And, you know, I try to soak up this environment and really marinate in it. And that's the style of gamer I am. And so it could take me longer. There's other gamers out there that are like, A to B, man. How do I get from A to B? I'm just trying to get through the game. I'm trying to get through the game. Okay, I'm going here. I'm going there. I'm going there. They don't stop to smell any flowers whatsoever. There's different type of people. That's just the way it is. I like to smell the flowers. So, what are my thoughts on Transference as I continue to play it? Well, a number of thoughts pop into mind as I continue to play it. One of Prince Alexander says 3 hours equals 2 hours of gameplay and 1 hour trying to log into Uplay. Actually, no, I logged into Uplay pretty freaking quick, and Uplay is a thing. It is a thing. I'm not necessarily happy about Uplay. We know all about that, but it really wasn't a problem in playing Transference. Bada boom, bada bing. I'm in the game. I'm playing it. Haven't had much issues there. Haven't had much issues from the standpoint of my 970. Everything seems to run well. The only irritant that I've really experienced in regards to Transference is the slow movement. It is you're chugging along relatively slowly through these environments, and that might be my major complaint. And then the other complaint, and I've already brought this up, is every once in a while I'm walking around and then bam, now I'm in crouch mode, now I'm in stand mode, now I'm in crouch mode, and that was kind of irritating. That happened to me a number of times. But the point I want to make with Transference, and I've already said this before, but I'm going to say it again, there are these certain segments of this game where I feel like they have done a VR game maybe better than any other game I've played to date, okay, to date. But I'm talking about small burst segments of this game, but it's where the sound, the visuals, especially the sound here is good. SpectraVision, I got much love for you guys at SpectraVision, okay, because you guys definitely sat down and said, look, we're going to try to make a state-of-the-art, kick-ass VR game. And they did a damn good job of it, terrifying at certain points. This game scared the crap out of me at certain points. And I'm pretty good about this stuff. I can survive these terror games, these horror games pretty well. I'm able to survive it pretty well. But there were times where a door would open or close, and the door was so loud and so crystal clear in terms of the audio that I was like, oh shit, I got startled. I was like, whoa, what the fuck? Because I heard a door close or open or something. There's some stuff that goes on in this game, man, that will freak the living daylights out of me just in some small segments. I really love there's humans in this game too. You know what so this guy right here, like your dad, like the guy that like created this whole experiment, the story of the game is very dark. It is really dark. This is a family that has major issues with the dad, major issues with the mom, issues with the son, issues with like, does the mom really care about her kids, or does she even want to have this son? She was like a musician. She was like a very talented musician, and she kind of gave up her career because she got like there's all this story stuff that is going on in this game as you're playing it. It's very dark. It's very macabre. It's very Black Mirror. It is absolutely Black Mirror. It's also, we're talking about the nature of reality, right? We're talking about, we were just mentioning, well, I was just mentioning that the more we play VR, the more we start to see these realistic worlds and all these things, I think we start to question like actual real reality. And this game, like as you go through this game, there's like little writing on the wall that says, this is not real. This is a dream world or something. This is not, like, there's all these little messages. That weird monster thing that is in there, this like pixelated monster thing that comes at you, will scare the living daylights out of you sometimes, because there's certain segments of the game where you activate something and then you're looking down a hallway and then it's coming at you and the music is crazy. I'm telling you, this is a game. You're going to put some people in this game and they are going to rip that headset off and it's going to go flying. So you better be careful if you demo people Transference, if they cannot handle horror, if they can't handle a thriller. Got to be very careful. Now, there's a lot of slow, exploratory moments in this game where you're trying to solve these different puzzles. You're trying to solve riddles. We've seen all of this with we've seen this with a lot of VR games where you're in a room, you have to solve a puzzle. I mean, how many VR games have that? Torn is very much that. The Gallery episode 1 and 2 are very much that. Red Matter, very much that. So this idea of being inside a room and having to figure out a puzzle, and then you solve that puzzle and then it opens up another part of the game. Some of that stuff is super creepy, ladies and gentlemen, when you're looking down a hallway and all you see is a silhouette of a human figure that is animated incredibly well. And they also have different segments in this game where you'll walk into a room and this guy here, the dad, the guy that has created this like whatever strange experiment that is going on here, he is like talking to you and he's like, but it's flickering in and out. They do a really good job of making the world kind of flicker in and out. Everything is kind of morphing slightly, because it's like reality, but reality is slightly fucked up. But you're in this like dream horror world thing. The bottom line, Transference is something that I think everybody needs to experience. Now, do you need to run out there and drop 25 bones right away to experience this? I don't know. You definitely don't if you're not into horror and you're not into thrillers, because it'll be a little bit too scary. You're probably not going to be able to handle it. But anybody that is into horror games, anybody into thriller games, if you really loved Oregon Quarter, if you really love like The Exorcist, if you like In Death, all these different games where it's a bit scary and there's that freak out element, I think you pretty much have to grab Transference because it is a very polished production. This is like a AAA thing right here. This is a company, SpectreVision, like, we need to keep our eyes on these guys going forward. I don't know how much Ubisoft helped out with this. I don't know if like some of their programmers were like helping people at SpectreVision, but I kind of have this feeling that SpectreVision, Frodo, of course, Elijah Woods is like the guy behind it, right? And some other luminaries that all got together and created SpectreVision. And I think what they decided to do here is they decided, let's try to really push this VR thing and let's try to make a really high-end VR game. And they do a pretty freaking, these screens that pop up all over the place, you'll solve a little puzzle, you'll solve a simple puzzle, and then all of a sudden it'll go, and then all these different screens start popping up and you hear sound, the 3D audio. Much love. I give a lot of respect to Transference. I'm liking it, and I feel like I'm getting at least a full 3 hours out of this. And for $25, I know, yeah, I got it for free. I got a code for free. But for me, I think I would have to experience this game. This is a harsh month. There's so many games coming out this month. It's difficult. but I think I would have to experience this game. I've been impressed. So let's see, what are folks talking about over here in chat? Crunchy says, I want a Lord of the Rings VR game. Get Andy Serkis as Golem and everything. Dude, Andy Serkis, that's all he does is play these characters. And we saw a video in Magic Leap. Looks like he's doing that for Magic Leap. SAMIK81, scary games in VR are a no-go for me. I just can't help it, but I get scared easily like a little girl. That's okay, SAMIK81, and it's awesome of you to be so honest and upfront and say, look, I can't handle these things. And, you know, there's people out there that just can't handle it. I understand it. It's difficult. There's eventually going to be some games that I can't handle. And there's going to be moments of certain games where I can't handle. And I'll tell you, Transference, I screamed like a little girl at a couple of different points in this game. VRium says, I never understand the concept of reality. What is real that is so relative to a lot? Yeah, well, that's a whole nother topic, VRium, and I think you got to be on the Joe Rogan podcast and you got to puff on a blunt with Elon Musk, and then you'll understand the concept of reality. Kevin Mars says, I played a little bit of Transference, got to the never-ending staircase and just had enough and lost the door knocker and turned it off. Yeah, not all of the game is great. There's some parts that are kind of tedious and it's kind of dark, like the staircase thing when you're going, like you can't see a lot of, you know, one of the problems we still have with VR is like Mura and all of that. And this game tries to get really dark. I think it does a very good job of like color. There's a lot of reds and purples and blues and greens. There's a lot of, you can see this. Just look at the trailer. You can see the hues. And it's interesting look, man. It's a Stranger Things kind of look. This is good. This is solid. It's very solid, but it's unfortunate for some of you guys that get into this and you can't handle it. VRium says, I love psycho. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. I love psycho horror. If you love psycho horror, you probably should peep this game out. Scion VR says, Subnautica gave me the worst scare ever in a game. I probably haven't gotten to that point yet. I really want to get back to Subnautica. Kevin Mars says, I need a Star Wars Kill Died game. Why haven't they made one yet? And Paradise Decay says, Anthony, I bet you can't handle Monstrum in VR. Haven't tried it. There are some experiences. I'll tell you what I can't handle, Paradise Decay. Have you played the Brookhaven Experiment? And have you been in the sewers? And have you gotten far enough in the sewer level, like past enough stages where you start to get to the creepy crawlies? I cannot handle creepy crawlies. Oh, hell no. When there are large human-sized bugs, bigger than a human, and the bugs are like, and you start to hear that in 3D, you hear bug noises in 3D, and you're in Brookhaven, you're standing in Brookhaven, you have your gun, you know, and you're ready, you have your gun, but there is literally like 8 or 9 entrances, 360 degrees. A bug could come from up there, it could come from that opening over there, it could come from that opening over there, there's a side door over there, and you're in a sewer, man, you're underground, you're in a sewer, it's wet on the ground, and there's freaking zombies and bugs. It is scary as hell. That's what I couldn't handle. I have a thing with bugs. I have a thing with insects. Like my worst possible fear. Have you guys ever seen Starship Troopers? I'm sure a lot of you have seen Starship Troopers. And if you haven't, what are you doing? Stop this right now and see Denise Richards at the height of her ability. But Starship Troopers, I thought was a damn good movie. It was Verhoeven is the director, right? He's the guy that did Total Recall. Interesting director guy, right? Well, Starship Troopers, when those bugs, like that would be my biggest fear. If we got invaded by giant insects, I'm freaking out. I could not hang with it. If there was a beetle the size of a freaking Chevrolet, I could not hang with it. Scares the living daylights out of me. That's my thing. In terms of being scared, it is all about, oh, and VRium says, I would love a game that reflects us and that generates some of the environment listening to our body, like the rhythm of our heart, breathing, blood circulation. Yeah, let's take horror to a whole another level Someone's going to die in VR pretty soon. Someone is going to die at some point in VR. Kevin Mars says, anyone try Dead Prison yet? If you like Brookhaven, you might like Dead Prison. I need to get back to Brookhaven. Never completely finished it. And I still think Brookhaven is fantastic. I think it's incredibly underrated. Really a big fan there of Brookhaven Experiment. Okay, so I'm going to put on a different trailer because we've had this Transference trailer running ad nauseum. So let's put something else on. This is Echoes VR. I forgot all about this game. Never converted this to 1080p. My bad. But yeah, this is another little PSVR game that was announced at one point. Echoes VR. Don't know too much about it. Don't remember too much about it. But I thought what we could do at this point is maybe check out some of the subreddits, or actually we can go to Upload VR. Let's go to Upload VR and see what the biggest stories of the day are. So let's go ahead and check that out real quick. We might go a little bit longer with today's episode until my stomach starts gurgling and says I want food because I didn't have a huge breakfast. Okay, so here is Upload VR, and first of all, much love to Upload VR. I use it all the time. I reference it all the time, and I recommend people, VR fans, go to Upload VR, check it out every once in a while. I know they had some issues back in the days with some like sexual harassment type stuff, but you know, I'm not a lawyer and I'm not a judge and I'm not a prosecutor, so I figure all of that will handle itself on the sidelines. Okay, so what they're talking about over here is the Nvidia RTX 2080 Ti and the standard 2080 performance benchmarks. So this is what a lot of people are talking about, but are these cherry-picked benchmarks? Because we really want to wait for Sweeviver. We want to wait for like regular, everyday Joe Schmoes that are hardcore PC gamer types to get their hands on these cards and give us some legit benchmarks that mean something to us. That's what we want. We want legit benchmarks that mean something to us. And so, you know, here's like a Steam VR benchmark here. And look, this blue column is higher than the other blue columns. So you got to run out and spend $13.50, right? I mean, look at these tall blue columns. Like, that's all you need to know. This is a hell of a lot higher than this one. So go out and buy it, ladies and gentlemen. That's pretty much what we're talking about here. It does have that virtual link plug. That is beautiful. And yeah, you know, so when are these cards actually going to be available? Because I know they weren't going to make September 20th. They got delayed a little bit. But when is an average Joe Schmo going to actually get their hands on this thing? That's my question. Okay, another story they have is the Mirage Solo is getting pass-through support with depth perception and AR. So that is nice. And then, of course, we did cover this a little bit already, the Google experimental 6 Degrees of Freedom controllers, which looks pretty sweet. Of course, Accounting Plus is coming to Rift and Vive, and we know about eSpire 1, kind of delayed a little bit into 2019. This is a story I haven't covered here. Beat Saber's multiplayer is 85% done, and it will come out after the PSVR port. So we're waiting on this PSVR port. Hyperbolic Magnetism, Beat Games, whatever you guys want to call yourselves this week, you got to bang out that PSVR port, man. Where is it? Because I think it will really be huge in the world of PlayStation VR. So now I'm going to bounce over to Road to VR real quick. We'll see what they got going on over there. They're talking about the 6 Degrees of Freedom, eSpire 1, Accounting, Walmart, Arca's Path. The unfortunate story about Hardlight VR, this Seattle-based company that apparently is going to close out due to lack of funding. That is unfortunate. So that's what we have going on in the news. So let's head back over to chat. Let's see what folks are talking about real quick here. And I am Everyday Gamer. So we got a new guy, I believe, in the chat. He says, love the horror games, but they make me sweat more than VR Vertigo. Yeah, you know, I haven't noticed like sweating. I just get freaked out, you know. But Gerard O'Hara says, is it banana o'clock? You know what? I actually was going to have a banana, Gerard. I really was, but my bananas are like black spots all over. They're past the point of no return. Like, I cannot eat a banana that starts to get all gooey and stuff when it's like past its prime. So I let the banana go, and instead I grabbed the Fuji apple. I went down the Fuji apple road, and that has allowed me to survive all the way to this time, but I'm going to get hungry pretty goddamn soon. Prince Alexander says once DLSS gets implemented in VR games, these cards will be a game changer. Well, you know, one of the things I'd like to say, Prince Alexander, this is something I've thought about doing, but I haven't done. But somebody like Sebastian from MRTV or somebody like Sweeviver, somebody out there, what they need to do, this is what I want somebody to do, or what I should do if I had enough time to do it, is go back to the launch of the 1070. Go back to the launch of the 1080. Go back to the launch of the 1080 Ti. Go back to when Nvidia had all of these trailers and they were talking about, well, the 1080 Ti is going to do this, this, and that, and the 1080 is going to do this, and the 1070 is going to do this, and it's going to render two screens at the same time with no frame rate hit, and it's going to revolutionize VR, man. It's just going to be so awesome, man. You know, all these new features, man. We heard all of that the last time. What did we really get out of all that? Did we really get any next level features? So what I'm trying to say here is I remain cautiously optimistic, maybe a little bit pessimistically non-optimistic, because I feel like a lot of these promises of all these different special bells and whistles, like, do we really see them in actual games? I don't know that we really see them. And then I think by the time we actually do see them, there's a new card. You know, so I don't know. So Prince Alexander is saying, nah, bro, DLSS will be a game changer. I hope it is, but we've seen these promises a million times. Kevin Mars says, I'm waiting for the RTX 2070 because it's just too much cash for my broke butt. I understand where you're at, Kevin Mars. I totally understand, no question. Logan 68 says 2080 run the same as a 1080 Ti. And again, I also believe that we have to wait and wait. We have to wait for the real people to get their hands on this. I want to see benchmark numbers for Fallout 4 VR, for like Skyrim, for I'm trying to think like Subnautica, you know, stuff like that. Games that, or like Project Cars 2, like real numbers on stuff like Project Cars 2 and all of that. That's kind of what I want to see. SAMIK81 says, has anyone tried both OGO and Lenovo Solo, or Oculus Go and Lenovo Solo? I'm looking for wireless VR for movies and mild gaming. Is 6 Degrees of Freedom only for HMD worth extra price? Not sure if I can wait for Santa Cruz. You know, if you're looking for movies and mild gaming, get yourself an Oculus Go, man. It's 199 bones. You know, 218, 219 with tax, basically. Get a Go. Use it for as long as you can. You know, use it until the arrival of Santa Cruz and then sell it off. Even if you're selling it for 150, you're not taking a ridiculous loss. You just think that you're renting an Oculus Go for like 8 or 9 months, and you amateurize that rental over all those months. It's peanuts. It's nothing. You can buy a brand new item and you can sell it off. You can take a loss and you can still walk away pretty good. So that is my suggestion, SAMIK81, as far as that. Just don't worry about the 6 Degrees of Freedom right now. Get a Go, wait for Santa Cruz, or maybe wait for some of the prices to come down on some of these other options, or for them to improve a little bit, maybe a brand new version. Scion VR says, Nvidia has been slightly deceptive with these new cards. You think? You think Nvidia has been slightly... No, Nvidia would never be deceptive. They would never tell us about something that will only happen in a lab and never happen in real life. They would never do that. Kevin Mars says, Anthony, you want a beta key for Zero Kill? Just got an extra key. Sure, go ahead. You can email me at info@vrgamerankings.com. info@vrgamerankings.com. I'll check it out. I don't have a problem with it. I'll definitely check it out. Crunchy says, at VR Game Rankings, exactly. The 30XX series will be even better, of course, and more mature content. But at the same time, Crunchy, we can't always wait for the next thing, because eventually you got to step out there and live your life. And I've been living with a 970, and I got to step out there and live a little better than the 970, in my opinion. SAMIK81 says 500, 600 euros is my top, unless Santa Cruz is really awesome. Well, obviously, you need to wait about 5-6 more days. Next Wednesday, we're going to get a lot of information probably on Santa Cruz, and then you'll be able to make a much better decision at that point. Scorpion 2 says, I just bought my GTX 1080i last year. I'm sticking with it. And I'm looking for a 1080 Ti. And this is one of the things that I was going to say out there, is that I'm honestly hoping that one of you guys is jumping up to a 2080 Ti or a 2080. And you have a 1080 Ti. And instead of throwing it on eBay for $500, you'll give me that beautiful 20% discount, and you'll hook me up with a 1080 Ti for $400. I have $400 that is set aside that I could PayPal to somebody for a 1080 Ti. I'm willing to throw 400 bean pies at a 1080 Ti. Now, I know that's a huge discount, and I know I'm asking one of you guys to like sacrifice 20% of what you would get off of eBay and all of that for selling your 1080 Ti. But if somebody wants to help a bro out and hook me up with a 1080 Ti, I'm willing to throw $400. I'm willing to slum it with a 1080 Ti and not get this latest generation and be on the 1080 Ti list and go down that road. Paradise Decay says, Anthony, you're on the list just below me. What list is that? What list is that? Is that the is that like for a preview code for that game? Not sure. So anyway, Andy Sky is saying Santa Cruz gonna have all the mobile exclusive games. Valve stole all Oculus PC game business, so they are going for mobile gaming. And Scorpion 2 says, I paid over $700 for my GTX 1080 Ti, and you're asking for one for $400. Are you freaking crazy? And Crunchy says, isn't your system going to severely bottleneck the 1080 Ti? It sure as hell will. It sure as hell will. But you know what? I got to do it, right? I mean, it'll be better, right? I'll be able to play Fallout 4 better, right? I'll be able to play certain games better. It's going to get bottlenecked. It's going to get bottlenecked by my i5 2500K that is overclocked to hell and back. It is going to get bottlenecked, but it's still better. And the way I think about it is baby steps, baby steps. If I can get that 1080 Ti, I can finally play Doom VFR, which I've never been able to play Doom VFR. I could finally play maybe, LA Noire, the VR case files. I can play some of that crap, and sure, I will be bottlenecked, and eventually I need to build. I keep looking over here because that's where my PC tower is. I'm absolutely going to have to build an entirely new PC tower. There's no question about that. From scratch, new motherboard, new memory, all of that stuff is going to have to be new, and then throw the 1080 Ti in there, and then that'll be a better thing as well. Somebody said, don't you have a Patreon? Maybe you can get some revenue from a Patreon. Yeah, a Patreon. I will eventually have a Patreon. No question about it. I definitely will go down that road. And hopefully, and Super Chat. Yeah, Super Chat. That will help me out as well. We're eventually going to move to a new channel. I cannot monetize this VR Game Rankings YouTube channel because of some mistakes that were made very early in its lifetime, which were basically accidental, but YouTube thinks I'm a horrible person. And so I cannot monetize this channel. So I'm switching to a new channel in the very near future. And then it's going to take a while though, because I switched to the new channel. You can't immediately monetize it, but eventually, like once I have 1,000 subscribers, or I reach like some certain type of, I think you need 1,000 subscribers and a certain amount of viewing time, and then you can monetize it. And then at that point I could do like Super Chat, and I could maybe do a Patreon and all those kinds of things. So I'm looking into that. I definitely will look into that at some point. And my hope is when I do a Patreon and all that stuff, all the money is going to go towards like building a new gamer PC, or maybe getting better lighting or better. It's all going to go into this. None of it is going to go to hookers and blow. Okay, none of it is going to hookers and blow. I absolutely promise. SAMIK81 says, how can we tell when you move to a new channel? Oh, I'll be talking about it. Don't worry, you will know. I will beat it into people's heads, because probably what I will do is I will like there will be like a week there will be like a week delay. So I'll basically say, like, one Monday I'll come on here and I'll say, yeah, we're starting this new channel. It is starting this day, but for this week I will continue to upload the videos to this channel first and then to the new channel. But starting on Monday, it's going to be the new channel first. So everybody go over to the new channel. So bottom line, you'll know about it. Don't worry about it. Paradise Decay says, Anthony, I had problems with my channel. I went through AdSense and they sorted my channel out for me. Yeah, I had somebody that helped me out. A very kind fan on here that watches my show took some of his own free time and helped me try to figure out what was up with my channel, and basically came to the decision that I need to just start a new channel or something. So whatever. And I need a new name and everything anyway, because like Daily Vlog Live is not a great name, and VR Game Rankings, yeah, that's the name of the website and stuff, but it might not be an ideal name for a YouTube channel. So I feel like it's all good. Kev Gretz says, no hookers and blow? I'm not donating then. The hell with that. We need hookers and blow, and we need it all on Livestream. So it'll be really awesome. Yeah. So anyway, folks, we've been going for a while here. It is 12:12. It is the witching hour, 12:12 Pacific time. I need to get some grub. I'm starving. But you know what? I will play some more Jet Island. I will try this beta and check it out as well. And so I'll be able to talk about all this stuff on tomorrow. So I'll talk about it all tomorrow. You just need a new AdSense. I was going to start a new channel too. Dude, I looked into it. It's complicated. It's really complicated, but maybe we could chat after the show and figure it out. Yeah, I will check my email. No question about it. I will check my email. Reminder, guys, tomorrow is 12 noon. 12 noon. Remember, on Saturday, we start at 12 noon. So I will see everybody tomorrow. I don't have an intro today, but I always got my outro. Let me throw the outro on here to make it official. And of course, yeah, my outro would have to be resized because the last video I did was not 1080p. Okay, so let's wait a second. We'll start it over with the outro. Here we go. Yeah, so definitely check out the website, vrgamerankings.com. We've updated a lot of charts on there, like the last 90. The most wanted charts have been updated. Once again, subscribe to the channel, like the videos. Oh, you know, one thing I never mentioned today? Have you guys seen that I added timestamps? We're doing this new 19-minute version of the show. I added timestamps to the 19-minute version, to all three of them that have been done so far. And I also added timestamps to the last video, the regular version, like the hour-long version, and there are a million timestamps. Guys, you got to see how many freaking timestamps I did. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort to do all of those timestamps, but I'm going to try to keep doing that because I think it's important. I'm going to try to keep improving this show in any small, minor way I possibly can. So once again, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and tell a million of your closest homies. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a single minute here. Before we get out of here, hold on. I want to show you guys something. Like, a lot of you guys probably wonder how you can help out the show. I'm going to show you how you can help out the show if I can find it here. Let's see. Ah, man, of course I wouldn't be able to find it when I want to do this now. But what I'm looking at right now is, so I am in, let me see, I'll go to page 2 and see if I can find it. Basically what I'm talking about, Latar. Yeah, no, we haven't done Latar yet. This is the longest outro ever, right? This is like a crazy long outro. But I saw it on one of these subreddits. Okay, well, I can't find it now. But basically, I see posts all the time where somebody says, what are the best games? What are the best VR games? Like it'll be on the Oculus Rift subreddit. Somebody will say, what are the best VR games? Or on the HTC Vive subreddit, somebody will say, what are the best Vive games? And dudes, I need you guys to help me out. Occasionally go into those kinds of threads and hook them up with a link to the top 100 Vive games or the top 100 Oculus Rift games or the top 200, because that's what VR Game Rankings is all about. What we are trying to do is try to give people an easily digestible breakdown of the absolute best games that are available for these different platforms. And every time I see a thread like this and I click into it and I don't see anybody mentioning VR Game Rankings, a part of me dies. A kitten dies, actually. A freaking kitten dies. Dude, you guys are murdering kittens by not jumping into these threads and saying, dude, go to VR Game Rankings, brah. That's all you have to do, brah. And I can't find this damn thing, but okay, here it is. I found it, folks. I found it. Stick with me here. I found it. Let's go to the web browser. Okay, so here's a thread right here. It says, what are the must-have VR titles? What are the must-have VR titles? This is the kind of thread that you guys need to jump in. Dal is given his favorites. Let's see, does anybody link to VR Game Rankings in here? Does anybody link to VR Game Rankings in here? No, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing no links to VR Game Rankings. And that, oh, there it is at the bottom. Upvote the shit out of this. This is this is Dr. Wiccan. I'm upvoting you right now, bro. There is 1 point right now. Yeah, VR Game Rankings at the very bottom, folks. Is this fair? Is reality fair? Is life fair? I say it is not fair. But if anybody wants to help me out, every once in a while you see a thread like this, help a bro out. Okay, so anyways, sorry for taking a million years for this outro, but that's what I wanted to talk about. So anyway, yeah, check out the website. We've updated all our most wanted charts. Brand new updates. Definitely subscribe to the channel, like the video, all that good stuff. And I'll see you tomorrow, noon Pacific. Later, everybody. Take it easy. See you tomorrow. Later.